Good afternoon, and welcome to Jeff and the Rabbi. You know, after dinner on most weekday evenings, I like to sit down at my kitchen counter and watch the news. Now, I don't mean the what type of treason did the president commit today mainstream news. I watch a cable news channel where I can at least get the whole story. Now, so I don't anger some of our viewers, I won't mention the name of the channel, but I will tell you that it rhymes with box shoes. So I'll tell you, I'm going to give you any other hint than that. Anyway, if you watch this channel like me, you will all definitely be able to recognize the My Pillow guy in any police lineup, and would absolutely be able to recite all of the fun nightly events and activities that take place at the Del Webb Senior Community Center. Why? Because the same dang commercial plays every dang night at the same dang time. Maybe this is what the rabbi is talking about when he tells me that overexposure is never good. In fact, he professes that overexposure will almost certainly lead to dishonor. Pretty strong words there, but he is a pretty strong rabbi. That right there. Now, I might concur with this assertion if we were speaking about my stripper friend. Let's call her Candy.
Where did this go?
You know we're taking a dive here.
That was a quick one.
Yeah, let's call her Candy. Now, her real name is Brandy, but let's use the pseudonym for her protection. Anyway, Candy, really Brandy, really overexposes herself during her work. Now, I would agree with the rabbi that this probably does not help her honor. But the redundant My Pillow guy actually just sells more pillows with his overexposure. Oh, the pages are stuck together here. And if it really would help me get a full night's sleep, he would garnish my full respect and honor. So I don't think I completely concur with the rabbi's hypothesis on that one. I get it. Too much of most things can be bad. Yes, and maybe even dishonorable. But sometimes, if you're trying to make it in this world, a little overexposure goes a long way. So now, if you want to hear the rabbi tell me where I went wrong, stay tuned. He's about to do that right now.
There you go. I'm ready for this one.
Okay, here we go.
Yes, you made one simple mistake.
Just one.
Just one.
I'm getting better every day.
You see, in marketing,
Yes,
things don't sell because they're honorable.
that's true.
People buy out of habit. So what you want to do, if you want to sell something, is you want to get people sort of hooked on that item. You want to get them to feel like naturally as they walk down the aisle, they grab for that item. Or when presented with choices A, B, and C, they just naturally feel something inside says that C is for some reason better because you've promoted it as such. And generally the way you promote it as such is you bombard them. Right? You create a habit, you create it ubiquitously, you Coca-Cola it.
Right.
So when you're thirsty, I need a Coke. You know, you don't really need a Coke, but that's what you think you're
so
supposed
many times,
right?
yes.
In your mind, you're thirsty, so in your mind says it's Coke because Coke's bombard you. But nobody respects Coca-Cola.
That's
right?
probably true.
Now the Coca-Cola people aren't really looking for your respect. They just want you to buy the product, right? As maybe the person that you mentioned in your
Brandy
monologue there. Yeah, so the person isn't really looking for respect, the person is looking for you to buy the product.
Yes.
Okay, but in the world of respect, and there are some people that are looking for respect, and respect is very important. As a matter of fact, I was standing in line to get on a plane, and the guy in front of me who was wearing an awful lot of gold all over himself had tattooed on his rather large neck the word respect.
So you had to respect him.
Right, so
that right
obviously
there.
respect was pretty important to him,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah. So respect is important and honor is important. But the honor though works just the opposite. Things that are more hidden, things that you have to strive to get to, things that require a lot of uncovering, those are the things that we really truly respect. The things that take a long time to get to, the things that take a lot of energy, the things that are not easily accessible to most people. If I get there, and you can't get there,
That makes it a little better.
this is really special because I got there, and you didn't get there.
So what you're saying is Brandy probably be better working at the library if she wanted to meet a nice guy that respected her.
Yes, if she's looking for respect
Okay.
and someone that's going to treasure her.
She wouldn't make as much money at the library, right? Okay.
Someone that's going to treasure her.
Right.
And treat her with respect.
Mhm.
Yes. So the best thing to do then is to cover up. Right?
Gotcha,
You
gotcha,
don't
gotcha.
want to expose. When something has been exposed, everyone says, oh, okay, I see it. I've got it. That's all there is to it. There ain't nothing more because there's nothing more to expose. I got the whole story, and therefore, let's move on.
And that works in marketing as well. I mean, you could buy the MyPillow if you want. Everybody's got the MyPillow, but if you want the special pillow, it's even better. It'd probably be better if it was not marketed every 10 minutes on
Right,
on
and-
box shoes.
And there are certainly people that market in that direction.
They do.
This is exclusive. This is only for people that have circular driveways, because it's
Right.
always advertised in front of a home.
Yeah, that's true.
Only certain people can have this. Now, some people might want it specifically because only certain people can have it.
I'm with you there.
Okay? There is the exclusive line at Disney, an exclusive tour. As soon as you exclusivize something, oh, now I want it. That's very special.
Very good
I'll
point.
even stand in line for hours for something that's exclusive, right? Stand in line at the coffee shop. No, if the line's too long, I'll go across to the other coffee shop.
Right.
Unless, of course, you Starbucks it, exclusivize it. This is only for exclusive people.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
a special. This is for people who want the coffee experience. But anytime anything becomes harder to get, you jack up the price.
Mhm.
You put it in a special place.
Right.
You make it harder to find. It does become more honorable and respected. And you have to make your decision if you're talking about marketing. But if I'm talking about, let's say, not marketing, I'm talking about maybe my daughter.
Right.
Right.
A little different there. A little different.
Right. So then, this is exclusive. This is very exclusive. This means that you cannot even date my daughter until you've met me. And as a matter of fact,
That's got to be a scary proposition for a lot of young men.
right, that's right. And if you're going to meet me, you've already been vetted. A lot.
Going through some
Right.
steps before they even got to you.
Right.
Now,
Even
if
the meeting.
if they have to meet your wife, then it might be even more serious. now.
Right. I do remember the first time I sat down with the first of my son-in-laws, and he sat down opposite me, and I said hello, and he looked at me, and he said, and I literally saw his Adam's apple go up.
Then you know you did your job properly there that day.
So you remember that, boy.
That's, it worked out well.
Right. So this is exclusive. This is why people that are exclusive will dress up. When you will never see a picture of Queen Elizabeth in her bathing suit.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Not even an old picture of Queen
In
Elizabeth.
old days,
Yeah.
attractive.
Now maybe, Diana, you may have seen,
Right,
That's
right.
what the paparazzi's job was.
Right.
But people that came from the generation before Diana, like the Queen, they knew that if it's precious, you don't expose it because you don't even want the paparazzi to get a hold of it. So that means you just don't. Because then the paparazzi will never get a picture of you, even if you go to the exclusive beach somewhere far away, whatever it is. If you're going to expose yourself, then you are going to give away. That picture is going to be splashed all over the front page of the tabloids, and then you are going to be cheap. If you are very honorable, you're a queen. You wear a hat. She always wears a hat.
She does.
She always wears a hat. If she's not wearing a crown, she's got a hat on.
That's true.
Right? She's got a hat. She's always like appropriate. She carries a purse. Carries a purse in front of her.
Right.
Always like it's like extra shield.
Mhm.
That little purse, a little extra, minimum access. You got to get through past the purse even.
I like this.
Not only do you have to get past the purse, of course, you have to get past the guard at the front gate, and then the
Right.
guard at the inner gate, and then the guard at the other gate. And when you walk down the hall to come to her room where you'll have an audience with her, there's guards along there. And then there'll be a bunch of doors that get opened.
It's like the Friedman house. We
Yeah.
got to meet the daughter. It's the same
That's
thing.
right. And lots of doors got to be opened, right? Because you can't just walk in. There's doors,
True.
and doors, and doors, and doors, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Lots of doors. That means it's very special. There was a movie some years ago. I don't remember the name of the movie. To tell you the truth, I didn't even see the movie. Because usually I don't see movies, I just
Right.
read about them.
Ah,
And that's
right.
good enough. It's a lot faster.
It is a lot. And a lot
So, there was a movie, and I forget who the person was starring in the movie was, but he was a gardener. And and somehow or another he stumbled into a party. And people didn't know that he was the gardener, so they started asking him questions, and since
Right.
he didn't have any answers for everything, he kept on saying like, and just saying like sort of like mumbling little platitudes and all that. And all of a sudden, everyone just assumed that he was super smart.
That would
Right,
make sense.
because he didn't say too much,
Right,
and he didn't
right.
like expose himself too much, and he got this reputation of being like super smart. And all of a sudden, everyone's like, like wanted to listen to him, and wanted to be around him, and have access to him. And actually, he was just the gardener, but he became like a big time celebrity.
Makes sense.
And his key was not saying anything.
Wow.
As
That
opposed
is
to some
interesting.
other people, there are other people that so crave the attention that by 6:30 in the morning, while they're probably still in their jammies,
Yes.
they're already tweeting out things to say.
Absolutely.
Some of which may have value, and some of which sometimes they're a little, out there.
But then how does anybody in this world of social media that we're in today stay underexposed?
Yeah, so that's the first thing is, if you really, really want to make yourself something, everyone thinks you have to be on social media.
Mhm.
No, you really have to get off of social media.
Now, if you're watching the Jeff and the Rabbi show, you can stay on for a little while. But
Right.
beside that, what he means, you can get off social
That's
media.
right. Well,
Right.
listen, that's if you're looking for honor. You get
Right,
off there.
right.
Who says we're looking
Right.
for honor over
Right.
here?
Very good
Right?
point.
We're looking for eyeballs. We're not looking for
Exactly.
honor. It's two different marketing approaches.
Exactly.
But if you're really looking for honor, then you want limited access. You want limited access. You want exclusivity. You might want to say like, this is only a pay-per-view type of thing, or a
Right, that's true.
or subscription only to subscribers only. Other people can't get all this stuff that we're offering, right?
Right.
Only
Right.
if you subscribe. So, things that are more covered up generally are more honorable. Now the question is, why is it that way?
Good question.
Why is it that way? That's what we really got to get to. I think it's the observation is generally a good one, but you see this with people who expose themselves and expose their bodies. Might be more interesting or fun to look at, but generally don't get the respect. Everyone knows the brainy librarian,
Mm-hmm.
right, who knows like all this stuff,
Right.
and you really respect when she says shh, everyone gets quiet.
Right.
So
right.
she's usually like buttoned up to the top and with long sleeves and all that.
Right. Right.
Why is that? Because she's saying like, I got a lot of stuff inside, and you don't have access to it. I think that this is quite true of people in business, especially women who are in executive positions. The executive women's business suit, right, is
Right.
very, very standard.
Yeah,
right?
it's not a real attractive thing.
Right. No, and they don't want to be attractive.
No.
They don't want to be attractive. So listen, I'm the executive here. We got business to do. I'm the businesswoman here. I'm giving the orders. This is not about my body. I'm buttoned up to the top.
Right.
Right?
I'm the same way at my office.
Some right. In another setting, maybe a whole different story. Maybe I'm loose, I'm easy, I'm exposed, that's a whole different story. But when we're here in business, I'm all buttoned up. I'm
Right.
covered up, buttoned up. Don't talk about my body. We're talking about my brain, what's inside, not what you can see.
Right.
The same is true with ideas. The same is true with anything that's precious. We've got the pearl here. The pearl. Everything in the world that's really precious has wraps around it. A grain of wheat. Grain of wheat. You want to get to the grain on the inside. It's got a husk and an outer
Right,
husk.
right.
Everything that comes in the world comes with wrappers. And you got to get through the wrappers. Why aren't things exposed? No, because wrappers, they're hidden. The same is true, actually, of our entire world. And guess where I'm going with this one?
I think I know,
Here
but
it
go ahead.
comes,
I'm
here
not
it
gonna, I
comes.
know we've been there before.
Here it comes.
Yes.
Okay, it's that God thing again.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Here you go.
I knew it.
Yep. And then like a one horse,
Yeah,
one trick pony.
one trick pony, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
One trick kosher pony.
That's right. So, in this world, we have a world that's exposed to us. We look around and we see all the world and all the things happening, everything going on. But the force that is behind the world, that is operating the world, that's actually very manifest in everything, is not really readily visible.
Good point, yes.
It's not visible. That is what God says. When over and over again we see Moses says, God says, let me show, again, Moses says to God, show me your glory. God says, you can't see my glory because you're a person. You can't see it. So he says, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put you in the cleft of the rock. We're going to read that portion this week in the Torah. I'll put you in a cleft of the rock, and I'll cover up the rock, the cleft of the rock, the cave, as I go by. And after I go by, you'll see the back of me, like receding.
Right.
That's about as much as you can do, and even that, Moses, is only for you because you're Moses.
Right.
The regular person wouldn't even give that, wouldn't even be able to handle anywhere near that. The more that God is hidden in the world, that tells us that things are not as they seem and not as they are exposed. That underneath, there are layers upon layers upon layers, and the real expression, the real thing that's moving things, the real power, the real force, that's way hidden from the eye. You don't see it.
It's like that man behind the curtain, the Wizard of
That's
Oz.
right.
When once we saw the Wizard, it was
That's what happened. He was so terrifying until they
Right.
pulled back the curtain, and just a little guy there, right?
Right, so it's the point.
Exactly.
Right.
But that's the way we understand the world. And if you think, you got it because you see it, the same is true of every person. There's a person, you take a look at the person, you think you got it all figured out. You don't have it all figured out. There's a person,
Right.
there's something really
Right.
deep going on down there.
Right.
So too the world. You look around the world, you think you've got it all figured out? No, you don't have it figured out. It's very deep. The things, the unseen hand that guides all of the actions and all the things that take place in the world, that is the way God rules the world. And that is very, very special. That makes him very, very special because he's not easily accessible.
Now it's interesting because there's two sides to that as well. When he's not as easily accessible, and I think the same thing with every other example you've given, a lot of people turn to something that is easier and easy to access.
That's right.
To access. And I think that's happening a lot more now, especially in this world when everything's out there. That's
Right.
happening more and more.
That's drugs. That's drugs.
But that
You
is
can be
interesting.
happy. You can be happy with your family and your circumstances. It just takes a lot of hard work. Or
that's what I think that's what you're describing. You're trying hard work versus easy.
right,
It's
long
like-
time.
right.
Relationship. This is I say now to young couples. After being in premarital counseling. So what? You love each other. I love each other. I think he's the greatest. I think she's the greatest. We love each other. What happens when you don't love each other? What happens when you find out the person's really not as great as you thought? Well, I'll have to find someone else that is. I guess if I made a bad purchase.
That's pretty much that's how it works.
You know what happens if you made a bad purchase? Amazon actually comes with the return label.
Just send it right back.
Just send it right back. Matter of fact, I'll put it out by the door. So what I'll do is I'll put him or her out by the front door, and Amazon will take it back. And I'll
Which
get
does
another
work.
one.
I have a couple of friends who've tried the Russian bride thing.
Yeah.
It's great. You get when she's a little older, you can send her back and get that there's always a younger sister.
Yeah, right.
And they send a new one.
That's
Which actually it's a great policy if you think about it.
I tried it on and it didn't fit.
Wore it out, now you can
It
send it
didn't
back.
fit. Yeah, come on, send it back. So you say instead, I'll say, okay, if you wanted to be happy, you tried it on and you were happy, but now you're not happy. Okay, guess what? Now get happy with this person. Or you can keep turning them over and over and over for another one. Or you can go get the drug. That'll make you happy.
Right.
You kind of bummed out at home. Go outside, get the drug. That'll make you happy for a while. Of course, when you're done with the drug, you'll still be unhappy, but you can do the drug
There's
again.
another drug. You
This
can-
time you'll do it with a little bit greater dosage and later dosage, and we all know where that'll end up.
Right.
And whatever your drug might be, your alcohol,
Whether
your
it's-
pharmaceutical, your gambling, your whatever,
Right.
you name it, everyone's got one, right?
Right.
So you can do all that, or you can do the long hard way. The long hard way is we have to find out what is really special and good about this person. That is going to be a challenge. But you can do it. But what's really good about the person is not what you, when you first got married, what you saw, because that was very
Right.
superficial. How much did you really know about this person? So you saw the surface. Now, what you thought the surface indicated what's underneath. Guess what? It doesn't. But now that you've got that person, get to work and try to find out what's underneath. That's a challenge.
Well, you might hit another point. Maybe the reason why, and I've read that marriage is declining everywhere. I mean, not just divorce rate, but less people get married, probably because you see so much beforehand. You've already said, okay, that's enough.
Right.
I don't think I'm going to try it anymore.
Right.
I've seen the pictures in the 4th grade, 5th grade, 10th grade. I've seen what she did last weekend and what she ate every single night because she shows a picture of it.
Right.
No, that's enough. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's
Right.
not that simple.
The mystery, you see, in our world, we do a lot to
Right,
preserve the mystery. To
Yeah.
preserve the mystery, and there's this discovery. And you find out, like, who this woman is, and who this man is, and what is a woman, and what is a man, and all that. You learn all of that, and it's amazing, it's eye-opening, and it's very, very special. And also, the husband and the wife, if they have been and are faithful to each other, then each one knows that they possess something that the rest of the world has no access to.
Very interesting.
So I have something that nobody can touch. Nobody can touch. You can't even see it. You can't even see it. That's my wife. That's my husband.
Well,
Very precious.
that's interesting. I guess you make a couple good points here. I'm going to give you that. You made a couple of good points here. It's got
Right.
something to ponder.
It is all
Yeah.
God. God says, "I come to you in the cloud." See, even God was in the cloud. Yeah.
Which is great because I guess even overexposure with God, if God was here, the paparazzi would be following around, and it would be,
If God did miracles every day,
Right.
miracles would be worthless.
how many different card tricks can you do before
Right.
you're still impressed?
Miracles
Right.
would be cheap. What have you done for me
Yeah,
this hour?
exactly.
You just did a miracle last hour, the last hour. What have you done this hour?
No, I'm with you. This is good stuff. So maybe the lesson here is not always easiest. It's not the easiest path, but and it's not you don't get everything instantly. You got to wait a little bit. You got to work a little harder, and then maybe that's what the real world's all about.
That's right. Cover yourself up. Keep it to yourself. I even heard one time a great rabbi said, if you have a new idea, you should sit on it for a while. If it's an idea, just sit on it. Let it percolate inside of you till it really becomes you. When everyone, as soon as they get an idea in their head, blah, 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 blah,
That's out and going in a minute.
let's write an article, let's blab it out, let's say
Which
it,
is
let's
true.
do it.
Which
So
is
no,
true.
sit on it. Let it percolate inside of you. Let it become you.
Yes.
Then bring it out.
Well, that's good advice. And for me, no more mini skirts in the office to this guy. I tell you what, I'm keeping it all together.
To the floor.
That's it.
I wanna say-
Ankle length for me.
King Saul, Michal, the daughter of King Saul, said in her family, no one ever even saw her father's heel or toes.
Wow.
And they used to wear sandals. So, that means they used to wear garments like right down to the ground and long enough so that even when they walked,
Ooh, they
you
were
didn't
good.
see. Yeah.
I got some nappy little feet, so that probably won't be a good thing for me to see those either. But that's a different story altogether. Different show, different topic.
Yeah, we
don't need to bring that
don't
up.
expose that.
That's too much exposure.
Keep your honor.
Too much.
Keep
much.
your honor.
See, I just couldn't stop. I had it right there, and I just get too far.
Right.
Wow, this is good stuff. I'm impressed.
Okay.
Next week, and we won't talk to you till next week. We don't want to overexpose you.
That's
But
right.
We will be back next week with another informative and learning edition. of
That's
Jeff
right.
and the
You
Rabbi.
can count on Jeff and the Rabbi not to overexpose.
Definitely.